Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Dear Abby. I am Abby. Love it. I'm an AI visibility advisor. I specialize in GEO, generative engineering optimization. And in my work at CTP Visibility Advisors, I get a lot of questions about GEO, how a PR professional or a marketer or SEO leader should shape their integrated marketing strategy. And as you can hear in my work as a mom, I get the colds that are ravaging my kids' school. So I apologize in advance for my voice during this episode, but it's actually sort of apropos. It's a perfect segue into this week's question. Because in addition to the AI visibility questions that I answer, I also get a lot of questions about being a human at work and the intersection of humanity and AI. And I'm just so curious about the human condition at work that I actually wrote a whole book about it, and it's coming to a bookshelf near you very soon. But this is not a pitch. This is truly about how we are all, as humans, operating at the intersection of some very real, very powerful dynamics. AI, the economy, sociocultural shifts. And so we're going to get into it. This episode covers what could be the penultimate question in 2026. It's about being laid off and made redundant, whatever you want to call it. And so many of my friends, colleagues, mentors have lost a position recently, and they're in the throes of figuring out what's next for them. And to be completely upfront, Dear Abby was born of a similar experience that I had. And so we're not going to go deep into that. We are going to go into what's helpful. And I want to be really upfront, really super clear at the outset. My qualification for having this conversation is the fact that I have worked very hard for over 25 years in very competitive industries. That's it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm like you. I'm a type A professional who has seen and lived some stuff. And I'm not here to gatekeep. So the other thing about this question is that it deserves way more than one episode. This is going to be a two-parter. So today we're going to cover some brass tacks, and then the next episode we'll get into the much deeper aspects of self-identity in the face of employment changes. So I do want to say, if you're in a dark place and you're figuring out who you are if you aren't employed, let me just offer you something to think about between this episode and the next episode. And that is, fundamentally, we are human beings. We are not human doings. Your worth is so much bigger and more important than your paycheck. Okay? Whew. All right. So back to the brass tacks. We are here today going to go through some extremely tactical things that you should do after you get that mystery invite from HR. I'm calling this the sort of immediate blast zone, if you will. This is the space where you or a friend have found out that your employment is ending, and it's deeply unsettling, whether you're in your first job or later in your career. And you kind of need a hand to walk you through the immediate first steps. So that's what we're going to cover today. Later, we'll get to the aspects of self-identity and those kind of things. So come back for more. We're going to start at the top. You get a call invite that feels funny. You can always ask for an agenda. If your HR representative or your manager says that there isn't an agenda, or the one that you're receiving feels just instinctually off, you're going to want to steel yourself, okay? You're going to try your best to stay calm. Do not breathe in. I mean, I guess if you need to breathe into a bag, breathe into a bag, but this is not the time to preemptively lose your mind. You are then going to attend the meeting and do your level best to stay calm. This meeting is not the time to flip a table and tell everyone about all the KPIs you met, all the money you made the company. Simply confirm that you've heard the news, request the details in writing as soon as they can provide them. Okay? This is the employer-facing experience. And now you find yourself in the immediate blast zone. And this is a very, very tough place. You just got a new job, and that new job is you. Here's what I mean by that. When you don't know where to start, or if someone in your community doesn't know where to start with this kind of news, I'm going to share something that has really helped me and a lot of the people that I love. And it's this idea. If you don't know what to do or where to start, care for yourself. Pursue yourself. Pursue your health. Pursue your happiness. Pursue your healing. And soon enough, the path will reveal itself. So, we're going to start with you doing you. Again, we're in the tender first impact zone, and we're here to talk about, what does this look like? Are we getting a hug from our best friend? Are we going to sauna and do a very long cold plunge, because that just brings this whole metaphor to life? I have a former colleague who celebrated her low moments and her high moments, actually, with Dom Perignon and Popeyes. And AI made me this image, and it makes me giggle. So whatever your self-care combo is, get after it. It's your call. Again, your job is you. You're going to take care of yourself immediately. That is your first thing. Do not start updating your resume. Just take a deep breath. And again, we're talking the immediate hours after this news. Then next morning, assuming like you have slept on this news, you've done something loving for yourself, and the next morning, first question is dealer's choice. Like, you're going to lawyer up or not? And this depends on a variety of factors that I'm not going to get into here, because again, I'm not a qualified professional to say this. What I will say as your internet friend is that it might be worth your time to engage representation. It might not be. That's your call. But whether you do or don't, a very basic and good rule of thumb is to not sign anything until you understand it. If you are confused, do not put ink to paper on the items that you have received. You want to really understand all the boundaries before you sign anything. Then you're going to get into your life stuff, okay? I'm going to assume for the purpose of this episode, your role was one that had benefits. So again, in the spirit of taking care of ourselves and our loved ones, I would deeply recommend immediately getting any and all of your prescriptions filled, any vaccines that are outstanding, physicals booked. Like, it's very, very, very easy to let these things go when you're super busy at work. For example, I had an experience one time where I shared with my doctors that my employment had changed and I needed my kids' sports physicals conducted ASAP. And suddenly the 8-month wait list went to 2 weeks. So maybe that was a really merciful receptionist. Maybe it was an angel. I don't know. I really also hope that no one takes that line and abuses it. What I'm saying is, your job right now in this immediate blast zone is to take care of yourself and your loved ones. And if you have benefits that are going to be running out soon, get after it and use those while you still have them. Along this line, if you are working with a therapist, you'll want to get in contact with them, let them know what you're dealing with. Sometimes they'll have programs if you're unemployed to help you out. Also, and most importantly, they're actually trained professionals. They have real resources that are way better than these ugly slides that I made on cold medicine. And last, another form of health is your financial health. Finding insurance in this day and age can be very difficult. Cobra is extremely expensive. If you can find an independent insurance broker, that's great. Obviously, you're also going to want to call your financial advisor. We could spend hours on those two topics alone. If you have questions here, email me, look into it, do a little bit of research. But trust me when I say these 3 aspects will really set you up. This is extremely smart, strong self-scaffolding. Okay, So now we're going to talk about the job hunt. We did not jump first to this for a reason. I already outlined that. Um, as it relates to your job hunt, um, you might think that I'm going to start this by saying, okay, make a list of people you want to contact. Open up your resume and start dusting it off. I'm going to tell you to take absolutely no action to start. And this sounds weird, but you really want to take this opportunity to get really quiet, really, really quiet. And I'm not suggesting that you paralyze yourself and you lock yourself in a room for weeks. I'm just suggesting you take a beat. Could be an hour, could be a day, could be a week. I bet you haven't done this if you have been pedal to the metal as a professional, working your tail off and managing on top of that caretaking responsibilities and self-care responsibilities, working out and all that good stuff. You just deserve 15 minutes to yourself to breathe deep and think about what you just went through. Did you hate that job? Why? Did you love it? Why? What aspects of that culture worked or didn't work for you? What was working for your family or your relationships? And really think about what it would look like if you had the most baller job. What would it feel like? And it's so easy to go in these moments of quiet to very stressful, dark places, like it's never going to work out. And it's important to go to those places, I think, as thoughtful people, as long as we, in equal measure, think about painting a vision for ourselves of something that's awesome. Because when you begin your job hunt, you're going to want to get real clear about what you want. And what does that look like? You want to be really clear when you pick up that phone, send that text, send that email. You want to be super upfront about why you're engaging with somebody. There's an ample amount of positive energy out there. People want to help you, but you got to make it really easy for them to be able to help you. So get real clear about the places and spaces where folks can help you. Okay, so then we're going to get into our base resume. You're going to write an updated history of your successes. These successes are quantifiable. Your resume is proofed. It's ready for AI systems, ATS systems. You can Google all of this. You don't need to hear it from me. My counsel to you is that whatever you put together should always answer, what is this person going to add to the team? How do I know in an age where headcount is hard to come by that this person's going to be my person? So really think about that. Think through that lens, regardless of what kind of role you're pursuing. Then you're going to have those targeted phone calls. In general, the sort of broad-based recommendation here is to aim for 6 to 10 calls a week at dream companies with people that have the role that you want. And every time you have one of these calls, you're going to ask the person that you're speaking with for a recommendation for at least one other person that you should meet. And as you have these conversations, you're going to act like each conversation is a job interview. So you're going to follow up with a thank you note at a minimum. And I have also found it very helpful to follow up with what's called a networking brief. This is including your ask. So, hey, this is what I'm seeking. This is what I'm all about. This is not necessarily your resume, but it gives, again, it makes it really easy. It gives the people in your network an easy way to introduce you to other folks. And this is not a set it and forget it. Again, people who want to help you want to hear from you. They want to hear how it's going, and they're going to forget about you because their life is busy. So don't let anyone fall off your radar. And it doesn't mean following up with them on a weekly basis, but monthly, maybe quarterly. Just keep them in mind as things come across your radar that you want to share with them and makes you think of them. And you know what? It's easy to get tired. This is hard work and it's unpaid work. And so I think it's crucial that you hear you got to keep going. The small wins, the phone call, you never know what will lead you to the next thing. So just keep going. The small wins add up. And again, we'll talk more about the emotionality of all of this and the grit and the resilience and, frankly, the roller coaster that it can be next episode. We always like to say that, bringing it back to business, if you have any questions about content strategy, AI visibility, integrated marketing services, or you know somebody who could benefit from our visibility services, please send them my way. And if you are looking for a little clarity or, a motivational message of any sort, also feel free to reach out. It's tough out there, and I'm here to help. Okay? Thanks, everybody. Bye.